Sunday School Under Quarantine presents the story of two good kings of Israel. You may remember in our video on Isaiah how we talked about the things Isaiah said about Jesus. Well, this week we will talk about two good kings. Remember I told you that Isaiah was a prophet of God through 4 kings. 2 were good and 2 were bad. This first story is about King Hezekiah, one of the good ones. He was a good leader. He led the people back to God and told them not to worship idols. He worked hard getting people not to worship idols. It was most of his time as a king. An enemy arose up against Hezekiah and scared all the people into not believing anything that Hezekiah said. He told them that no other country had been able to stand against his king and his country, and so neither would Hezekiah. He even wrote a letter explaining all of this to the people. Hezekiah immediately took the letter to the Lord and laid it out in front of him and began to pray and ask the Lord to deliver them so that all the other countries would know that he was the one true God. Isaiah comes to see Hezekiah to tell him that God heard his prayer and that he didn't have to worry about fighting this guy. He said he would take care of it, and that is exactly what God did. During the night, an angel of the Lord killed all the soldiers while they were sleeping, except the one guy who wrote the letter. He woke up and found everyone dead. He went back home, and guess where that was? Nineveh. Remember when Jonah didn't want God to be merciful to the Ninevites? Well, here is one of the reasons. They had been the enemies of Israel. They had picked a war with the Jews and wanted to take over their land and make them slaves, but God had fought the battle against them. Once he returned back home so that he could tell them what happened, and all would know what God had done for the Jews, God made sure he was killed. That was part of Hezekiah's prayer. Maybe this is why they were quick to repent when Jonah came, because they had heard about the one true God before and what he had done for his people. Remember, little ones, when you are afraid of someone or something, take it to the Lord in prayer. Tell him the whole story and ask him to do something. He will. The Bible tells us that his ear is never too heavy to hear, nor his arm ever too short to save you. This verse is found in the book of Isaiah chapter 59 verse 1, if you want to look it up and memorize it this week. The next king was named Josiah. He became king at the age that some of you are today. He was 8 years old when he became king. He was king for 30 years, and he was a good king. He wanted to fix up God's house, and he sent money to get the work done. When they were working on the house of God, they found the book of God's laws and brought it to the young king. He read it and became very upset. He realized that his country was not obeying God's laws, and he decided to make things right. He called everyone to get together, and I mean everyone. He caused the book of the law to be read to all the people, and after it was read to the people, Josiah made a promise that he would follow God and he would make things right for the country. He literally had them clean out the house of God. It had idols and lots of stuff from other gods. He made them throw it all out and burn it. Then he went and tore down any place where people worshipped idols. He did this throughout the entire country. This was a big job because there was a lot of idolatry in the country. Then he told them about the feast of the Passover and gave them instructions on how to keep it. They had not done this for a long time, so long that they had to be taught how to do it again. How sad is that? We hope that you do not grow up and forget what you have learned in Sunday school. God said that there had never been a king like Josiah, either before or after, that had turned himself and the country back to God the way Josiah did. God said he turned with all his heart, with all his might, and with all his soul. God asked us to love him with all our heart, with all our strength, and all our soul. Josiah proved we can. It's better when you start young. God said he had a tender heart. Keep your heart tender to God. Don't get what they call hard-hearted. There are lots of examples of people who get hard-hearted toward God, and it never ends well for them. You, as a young person, can make a difference in this country. Remember Josiah. Follow God. Do what is right. Love him with all your heart. He uses people like that no matter what their age. Thank you for watching.